Hello everyone, and thanks for dropping in. Today another video on a French machine, an 8-bit computer from the 80s, the Thomson MO5. A short video today just to go around the machine and take a look around its capabilities, the way it looks, the way it feels, and some of the characteristics. And maybe in the future I'll get my hands on some software, because I don't have any software for it right now, any cartridges or tapes or anything. So the computer looks nice, has the AZERTY French layout as expected. The keys are rubber keys. This yellow key is the shift, although there is no marking on it. The entrée is of course the enter, and some of the markings are in French, like for example the functions over the keys 6, 7, 8, 9 and 0. Here is the cartridge slot. The rest of the commands printed on the keys are of course regular basic commands, so it's plain English standard commands. A sleek machine, a beautiful machine if you ask me. I think there was another model with proper mechanical keyboard released back in Christmas '85, which was made as the model to be exported to the rest of the world around Europe, and it was simply named MO5E. E stands for export. It comes along with proper SCART cable, which is great. No RF modulator and TV signal to look for. And what makes it more interesting is that it's hardwired onto the computer. You cannot plug it out. You can only plug it in on the back of the TV. So we always can get crystal clear images on the TV. We'll take a look at this in a while. This particular model sold mainly in France, but the MO5E used to have a PAL TV modulator, parallel port, which is not present in our case here, and 2 joystick ports along with an integrated power supply. Now this model is not Thomson's first attempt to enter the 8-bit computer markets back then. Thomson in Europe is the sister company to General Electric, and they have started experimenting and producing their own stuff when it comes to computers back in the 70s. They entered the European markets back in '82 with the Thomson T07, mainly because they wanted really to enter the business markets. But then again, I think they switched priorities and they have decided to enter the home micro computing market, and they came up with this budget model. On the right side we can find the 5-DIN cassette output input and the light pen 5-DIN input, which comes as a standard. On the back, the power in and the hardwired SCART cable and the expansion bus, and that's all pretty much what it is. The computer needs 17 volts DC coming in from the external power supply, which has an on-off switch and a light indicator on it, which is a good thing. And here is an interesting part. The sticker with the serial number is gone, and the seller decided to put it in this plastic bag and send it to me along with the computer. So I have to attach it somehow, some way. What is also interesting is that it's 641 numbered, very low in production serial number. So someday I think I have to attach it on the bottom side of the computer. But it was interesting the way he was thinking of that. Since it went off, he put it in a bag, sent it to me. Thank you very much. That's great thinking. The MO5 is low consumption device. Like I said, it requires 17 volts DC coming in, but only around 750 milliamps. And this is the brick we've been talking about. The external power supply here. We can check the voltages. The convenient thing is that it has an on-off switch attached, so you don't have to have the on-off switch onto the computer, not to mention that other computers back then didn't have an on-off switch at all. Now, powering up the system brings us to the initial page, and you can see the MO5 Basic version 1 is actually Microsoft based basic back in '84. And some people call the MO5 the BBC of France, because that's another interesting point. The MO5 entered the schools in France, so kids can be computer literate, and many kids raised with this computer at school. So the initiative was the same pretty much of what BBC did in the UK back then. Now, writing your own programs in BASIC, you have two ways to do this. Either you type the command, or you press the BASIC key and another key which brings the command instantly on the screen as a whole. So it is something that can be used like the ZX Spectrum, or it can be used like a the regular way, typing the commands letters one by one. But that's another interesting point for the Thomson MO5 here. And as strange as it sounds, the rubber keyboard is very accurate. So you do not expect that by the sounds of it, but it is. And again, some other silly code of mine here to bring up all the colors one by one. Vivid colors and a great output indeed. Sound wise, the Thomson MO5 has only a beeper, very limited sound capabilities. The system is based around the Motorola 6809E processor. It comes with 32 kilobytes of RAM and 16 kilobytes of ROM. This system sold well in France, but not really outside France. During 1986, the MO6, the successor to the MO5, was launched. The good thing is that it was backwards compatible with the MO5, and it came with 128 kilobytes of RAM. And yet another thing they could do better is the software. Here is the Yeti, a very popular game back then. The titles available have been very limited for this machine, and probably that was the reason software that this machine didn't do well in the end. It was trying to compete with the ZX Spectrum probably. What I can think of right now is this and Commodore 64 maybe, but it didn't do well. It was because of the software written for this machine, the software available, not more than 200 titles overall. Not to mention the fact that most games are written in French, so you cannot easily understand what is on the screen unless you know how to speak French, of course. And this must be something that has to do with the budget and the marketing and the decisions made for developing software around this machine. So they spent money on areas they shouldn't, or the other way around. They didn't spend a lot. But in any case, the machine hardware-wise is okay, is impressive. I like it. It's beautiful, and it's a pity it didn't make it in the end. But at least this system will be remembered, and should be remembered, as the one that has made it in French schools back in '84. So for the computer literacy for everyone, for the kids, and this is already a milestone in Thomson history. Its capabilities were average. Competition in France was not great. It was better than Alice, for example. I have presented Alice in some other video. I'm going to put the link down here below. So competition in France was very limited. It could have made it better, but it didn't. Maybe if it was a British model, could have made it better. If it was a German model, could have made it better. I don't know, but it is an impressive machine. I really enjoyed this episode today. I hope you enjoyed this as well. And this is why I'm going to keep calling it the 8-bit French Revolution back in the 80s, because it was the best model they could have picked to enter French schools. A great initiative indeed, which led many computer professionals in France to start with, but also a great attempt to break the British domination over the home computing markets in the 80s. So that's all for the Thomson MO5. I think I will revisit. I will get back to this. Hopefully I can get some cartridges and software to play more with this system. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll be catching you soon with another video, presentation, demo, repair, or modification, whatever comes first. And please do not forget to subscribe if you like this stuff, retro gaming, retro systems, or you even have used one of these in the past. Let us know. Leave your comments here below. You know the drill. And again, so many thanks for watching. Bye.